Welcome to Louisville as we get set for the junior women's session of the 2026 Winter Cup, where the next generation of Team USA hopefuls compete for a Winter Cup title and a spot on the junior national team. Competition gets underway next.
The 2026 Winter Cup is brought to you by Nike, bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike.
Welcome to the Kentucky International Convention Center for the 2026 Winter Cup. Let's listen to our PA announcer, Dan Mowdy, for the marching of these amazing junior athletes.
Good morning and welcome to the 2026 Winter Cup at the Kentucky International Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky, USA. Today's competition features the top junior women. They're all here in Louisville from all around the nation, contending for apparatus medals, vying to earn an all-around title, and striving to end the week as a member of this year's Team USA. Starting off today's competition on vault. For First State, Amaria Moore. For Georgia All-Star, Ansley McCauley. For Advantage Gymnastics Academy, Sadie Drake. For First State Gymnastics, Avery Haynes. For All-American Gymnastics Academy, Alexis Reiner. And for First State Gymnastics, Jazzy Saravia. Starting off on uneven bars, for Pacific Rain Gymnastics, Adelaide Van Grinsven. For Pacific Rain, Audrey Van Vinsven. For Palmer Gymnastics, Carla Frank. For Pacific Rain, S.B. Chang. For Pacific Rain, Cassandra Tan. And for Carter's Gymnastics, Jaysha McClendon. Starting off competition on beam, for world class, Eva Doherty. For Cincinnati, Kylie Smith. For Metroplex Gymnastics, Sydney Williams. For Gage Gymnastics, Alia Daniels. For world class gymnastics, Amaya Pugh Banks. And for Cincinnati, Ansley Stevens. And starting off competition on floor, for Woga, Sage Stiggers. For Woga, Chrisette Diggs. For Flips Gymnastics, Lily Ticknor. For Woga, Brooklyn Klauser. For Woga, Madeline Eagle. And for Woga, Sophie Davjan. These are the gymnasts competing in the 2026 Winter Cup for junior women. At this time, we invite you to please rise if you are able, remove your hats, and direct your attention to our nation's colors for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. This is the cover for competition in today's Winter Cup for junior women.
To succeed in gymnastics, it takes strength, determination, dedication, and it takes you. The USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to empower athletes at all levels and disciplines of our sport and to enrich communities for all-around success. Give to the USA Gymnastics Foundation today, because their success starts with you.
Welcome to the 2026 Junior Women Winter Cup. Friends, family, mom and dad, all the fans, and of course, chat. We are here in Louisville, Kentucky, watching the next generation of junior amazing Olympic hopefuls. I'm here, Paul Judah, and I'm joined with none other than the NCAA legend, elite gymnastics legend, Trinity Thomas. How are you, Trinity?
I'm doing great, Paul. Excited for today and tonight. We're going to have a blast.
Oh my gosh, Trinity, we just listened to the national anthem. Tell me, are your hands a little clammy? Is your heart a little pumping? Do you think that you're competing?
Oh, it happens every time. When the national anthem plays, I'm like, oh gosh, here we go.
Right. Well, listen, Trinity, what can we expect to see from these amazing junior athletes? Put me in the shoes. You've been there. I obviously haven't. What are we watching today?
Yes, some of them are young. Some of them are here for the first time. It's going to be a great meet. We're not going to be perfect. That's okay.
Sure.
They're out here trying their best for a spot on the national team, which is an honor. So I hope they just go out there and trust their training and have fun.
You know, we talked and saw with the men yesterday that, as you said, they're not going to be perfect. It's early in the season, correct? Are they going to be trying difficult routines that maybe they're just not ready for yet, but they're hoping that comes together today? What do you mean by it's not going to be perfect? You know, in gymnastics, we think it's got to be perfect.
Yes, no, it's early on in the season, and yes, we'll see probably some new skills, some new routines, and also some more conservative routines as well, because obviously you've got that D score, you've got that E score, and you want to combine them in the best way possible to get the highest score you can.
Sure, it's kind of funny that you say that, right? Like, I was talking to Brett McClure yesterday, our senior high-performance director for the men's side. I said, wait, you just got to do the hardest routines possible. You got to do them the cleanest possible, and you'll be the best gymnast in the world.
Exactly.
Isn't it that simple?
So easy, so easy.
Well, that's awesome, Trinity. Really excited for the meet today. Look forward to watching these junior women. We're going to have some incredible guests later on in the show, talk about the direction of women's gymnastics in the future of the next couple of years, and on the road, really, to 2028. We're only 2 years away.
Yes, it's crazy. Already halfway there.
And got to shout out men's hockey. First time since 1980, brings home a gold medal against Canada today. A little hand clap for the team out there. All right, chat, thank you so much. Look forward to being with you guys in just a few short moments. Hang on.
Show your love for gymnastics and your appreciation of the gymnast by making sure that the flash on your camera or phone is turned off. Please take the time now, look down, find that flash setting on your phone or camera, and turn it to the off position. And please remember, no photos or video from the event may be used or posted online for any commercial purpose. The gymnasts thank you for your concern for their safety.
All right, Trinity. Now that we're watching a lot of these young athletes warm up, what are you trying to see from today for some of these newcomers? You know, this is a brand new competition for us. What we learned by talking to the high-performance staff on the women's side, this is going to be the very first time that they have a re-ranking event in the middle of the year. You know, it's very common from the men's side to always have a re-ranking event in the middle of the year in February. They renamed the national team. That's a whole new group that gets funding for the next couple of months. It's a whole new group that goes to the U.S. championships automatically and is eligible for all of those international competitions. So today, this is a brand new situation for the women. Why do you think they're doing that?
Yes, honestly, it might be from the top down, you know, just trying something different. I think it's a great opportunity for all of these young ladies to come out here and be confident, believe in themselves, and do the best gymnastics that they can do. Obviously, some of them are competing for the first time, which is so exciting, and I hope that they just enjoy it truly, because that's what we're here to do. But I think they're going to be great. They're going to be great.
Would you say there's nerves going into this re-ranking event?
I'm sure there are. There are always nerves, especially first competition out, especially when you're trying to make the U.S. national team. That's a huge honor, like we were talking about. So, of course, there are nerves, and they just got to take a deep breath and do their gymnastics just like they do in the gym every single day.
Awesome. Well, let's get underway here, and let's begin with our very first athlete of the meet. Looks like we're going to be getting underway here with Adelie van Grinsven. Adelie's sister is actually also competing here today, and I believe that will be our youngest competitor of the competition.
Yes. How exciting to compete with your little sister and vice versa with your big sister.
Talk about that kind of mentorship that it just kind of has to be at the same gym and then obviously come to training. I bet you the flights are a little bit easier to coordinate with a sibling.
I would have to assume so.
Massive release in the middle of those bars.
Adelie's doing a great job, just the dismount left here. Double layout.
So Trinity, I gotta ask, what would you say is the best event to start on?
Ooh.
And vice versa, what's the worst event to start on?
I definitely think it depends on the athlete.
Sure.
Of course, you want to end on a high note, so maybe you want to end on your best event. But I love to end on floor, so that would be a great one for me. But I think, like I said, everyone's different, so I would like to end on my best event as an athlete.
Sure. Amaria there on vault, that looked like a little bit of an uncharacteristic landing there. Kind of looked like she was rebounding. Do you think that some kind of nerves or something happened there?
I'm sure she works bigger vaults in the gym. I mean, that was a gigantic Yurchenko pool.
Sure.
So I'm sure that, you know, maybe she just got a little bit ahead of herself, but it's okay.
Well, hopefully we see a bigger vault down the couple of years for her. Okay, there we had Ainsley on vault, also competing that Yurchenko full. Would you say that today we're probably going to be seeing the majority of Yurchenko fulls for these athletes?
I would say for these younger athletes, yes, we'll probably see more Yurchenko fulls, maybe a Suk full, but not as many of the double fulls that we normally see from the senior athletes.
And that's something that comes down the line, right? It doesn't come right away. We talked about yesterday with Christian and the junior men that these skills that a lot of these senior women do, you know, I think it's really easy to watch Jordan Childs or Simone Biles and think, I should be doing those skills right away. Looks like they just do it so effortlessly. Well, that effortlessness comes because of how talented and powerful and amazingly hard they work for those skills. So are these juniors, do they really have to cement the fact that it's a step-by-step process? It doesn't come right away.
Yes, absolutely. And everyone's process looks different. They're each super individualized, and it takes years to perfect these skills. So mistakes are totally normal, even for the best of the best. So they're young, and they're going to keep getting better.
So we're doing 2 vaults here, it looks like. And is that because of a scoring? Is that sort of something that the junior side is starting to work towards? Obviously, when you get to the senior competitions, the Olympic final, the World's final, you're doing 2 vaults. Is that something, do you think, that these junior coaches are starting to do early? I think sometimes we're looking at 2 vaults and thinking, you start a little bit too little, too late.
Yes, I think it's a great thing to... It looked like she might have messed up her hurdle a little bit there, but she stuck... Oh, yep. She was surprised herself, but she stuck with it.
Sure. I'll be curious to see what happens there, because she did a Yurchenko full in the first vault, and she did a Yurchenko layout in the second vault. And by the way, I think this is our youngest competitor coming up now on the bars. Trinity, tell me a little bit about how impactful it is to be just 12 years old competing in a junior Winter Cup, doing skills like that at Tkachev.
I mean, look, you can see exactly why she's here. Look at those lines. She's perfecting all of those handstands as well. That's got to be a hard position to be in, though. The youngest competitor of the competition, 12 years old.
Sure.
But she's competing, I mean, look at her doing a great job right now.
Trinity, I'm going to be honest, at 12 years old myself, I don't think I was too serious yet about my gymnastics career. So obviously we think that there's going to be a massively long career, hopefully, for Audrey Van Grinsven. And what an experience at 12 years old to just get in front of the senior panel. We've obviously got Alicia Quinn, Annie, our high performance director, all these top people from the USA Gymnastics that are selecting these world championship and Olympic teams. What is it like at 12 years old to already get in front of those kind of people?
Yes, I mean, it's a great start to the rest of your career. And look at how well she did that first bar routine to start off her competition. I think it's really special. And honestly, at 12 years old, I don't know that I would fully comprehend how great that is. But I know that she is phenomenal, and she's going to have a spectacular night and a spectacular career.
Sweet. All right, so a lot of people have made this kind of association between the beam and the pommel horse. They say the beam, it's one of those events that if you even make just a tiny little mistake, you're off. We saw yesterday, as Christian referred to the female horse, she was not being very friendly to a lot of the other athletes. What's the kind of, I gotta imagine it's hard to start your competition on the beam.
It can be very difficult to start your competition on a beam. Like, imagine being nervous and now you're up on this skinny little piece of wood, trying not to shake, trying to control your breathing. Sure. It's difficult. But these athletes train so hard every single day to handle situations like this. And even at such a young age, they can do an incredible job.
Oh, look at that. Back handspring, back layout. I mean, I was a gymnast, but I didn't do this sport.
I don't know. I think you might be able to do it. Maybe you can practice after.
You don't want to see that. So what am I looking for here, Trinity? And really fill me in as a little bit of the casual viewer, but also give me a little bit of, technical understanding of what I should be looking for on this beam routine.
Yes. So the obvious deductions are wobbles, bent legs apart, things like that. But then there are more intricate... That was beautiful, double tuck.
Oh my gosh.
Makes it look easy. But there are also very intricate deductions as well. And so that's your artistry, that's your momentum through your skills, that's your chin up, your pretty fingers, like those little tiny things. Love that nut. So good.
Awesome. All right, well, hey, I tried to bring that element of artistry to my gymnastics my entire career, so it looks like it's actually getting extremely judged here. That's like a criteria, I imagine, on floor and beam.
Yes, it's judged very strictly, honestly, and I think that's great because, it's artistic gymnastics, right. And so show off your routines, get your chin up, finish everything through your fingertips.
Now, this may be a random question here, but for Carla Franck here on bars, she has a sleeveless Leo. Is that typical?
Not typically. Most gymnasts do wear the long sleeve Leos, but you can wear the sleeveless Leos as well. And obviously, that's something that she's comfortable in.
Sure. I'd never known because as I watched a little bit of NCAA gymnastics, it seems they warm up in the sleeveless, but then they put on the sleeves to compete.
Yes.
So I wasn't sure if that was a rule or something like that.
Yes. So in NCAA gymnastics, you all have to be wearing the same thing.
Got it.
But you can also wear a sleeveless Leo in NCAA
team.
gymnastics as a team.
Sure. And now we're going to have Lily Ticknor on the floor, and we're really just going to let the athletes on floor today perform. We've got music, and we want the entire chat to enjoy the show.
Beautiful full twisting double tuck.
Really big skill for this junior athlete, correct?
Oh, didn't quite finish that first skill and couldn't put the second front full on her feet.
I feel like I commentated cursed her there.
Very nice.
Really nice big tumbling passes. It's just that combo pass that seemed to trip her up.
Yes, and that's going to happen sometimes.
Sure.
But what's really impressive is she was able to finish strong.
You know, Christian was talking a ton about yesterday falling in a routine and what kind of, it's that momentum killer that it is. You're thinking that you've got this whole string of skills that you're going to just put together back to back to back. But especially on floor, you may fall, but on the men's side, you get a second to kind of collect yourself. Although the timer doesn't stop, you get a second to collect yourself. What's it like to fall in the middle of a fully dancing routine where you're moving the whole time?
Yes,
Talk about throwing off your rhythm.
It really throws off your timing, and you got to figure out where you are with the music sometimes if you don't get up fast enough. But again, it's something that it happens, and I'm sure it happens sometimes in practice. So it's just something that you have to get used to.
And there we had Alexis Rayner on vault. Another one of those Yurchenko folds. Really, I'm looking for some college sticks today on vault. And we'll get to that in a little bit about the NCAA career that you've had, Trinity Thomas, which I found out today was a record-setting and tying 28 10-0s in women's NCAA gymnastics.
You just found that out today?
Yep.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Speak your truth, Trinity. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just messing with you.
but I'm really excited to just kind of get into that. And maybe one question that I could ask you is, are there college coaches, maybe even watching the stream or here today, watching these young athletes as future potential recruits?
Absolutely. Actually, one of my old coaches is sitting in the stands right now.
Nice.
So the college coaches love to come to meets like this and watch these girls from a young age and follow their careers. It gives them more insight on the type of athletes that they're recruiting years away.
I can imagine that you see the ones who really have that innate ability, that innate talent. And then also you're going to have the late bloomers.
Absolutely. Wow.
Great Yurchenko fold. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Jazzy there looks like she could have definitely been training that 1.5.
I'm sure she's training up.
Sure. Oh, I like how you guys say that, training up.
Yes.
You know, and we got a question from chat that says they wanted to know where Carla Frank came from. Carla Frank was actually a gymnast from Palmer's Gymnastics. You know, what I have to say, though, that I really appreciate about the elite side of the sport is that these routines are different. You know, you've got gymnasts doing completely different routines, different releases, different kind of organizations of their routine and suiting to their strengths. I find one of my only critiques about the women's gymnastics is sometimes I feel as though you find a routine that works for your entire team, and you'll just do it back to back to back. And I don't think that that's actually a critique or a flaw of the system. That's just the college coaches going, hey, we found a strategy that works, and let's adopt it and make sure that we maximize our highest score. Don't hate the player, so to say, hate the game.
Yes.
But I don't.
Now on floor for Boca, Brooklyn Clemson.
Here we got another great floor routine that we're just going to be able to watch and enjoy. That looked really well done.
That was very well done. I was about to say that. Oh, those feet just got up from under her.
Carpet looks slippery a little bit.
Sometimes it is, actually. Was able to put that pass on her feet, and there, just there, is exactly what you were talking about. She had to go back-to-back tumbling passes, pretty much, had to get right back on track, and she did a great job.
Wow, massive, 2.5. Wow, big skill.
Ooh, fancy.
You know, like you said, it's early in the season. We don't expect to have perfect routines, but I really love how the young women carried themselves. We talked to Alicia Quinn earlier in the week, and she said it's sometimes shocking, though. This is funny, but she would ask them, you know, what's their kind of favorite song? It's just a general Q&A, and they would say something from like a Disney show, and she'd be like, I forget that you guys are so young, but it's because you guys carry yourselves with such high respect. You know, they're all chest up, chin up. It's really admirable, in my opinion, for these young ladies.
It really is, and look at this vault. Oh, and she did 2 vaults, so that was your Chenko layout there. We've seen some pretty good vaults already.
Sure. And I wonder if there's one thing to say about this equipment, right? Trinity, you obviously in the NCAA only competed on AAI. And then you come to a meet like this, and it's all speed. What kind of changes that? Are there changes? Is the equipment different? Obviously, it looks different, but does it react and feel different too?
Yes, the equipment is very different. AAI is a little bit harder. Spieth is, I like to say, it's more forgiving, to be honest. So I enjoy competing on Spieth equipment, but that's an individualized thing as well.
Yeah. Is it tough, though, to make that kind of transition right in a couple of days? You know, the ladies only came here a few days ago, and then right away they've got to do their entire 4-event day.
It definitely can be, because like I was saying, so the bars are a little bit softer, so they're a little bit slower than AAI bars. So if you're coming from AAI, coming to Spieth, you might have to be a little bit more patient on your cast handstands and things like that. So it can be a pretty good adjustment that you may have to make, but that's what practice day's for.
And so just a little bit of a teaser of who to expect and what special guest we're about to have on the stream in the start of the next rotation. Trinity, we're going to have Betty Okino. Tell me a little bit about Betty.
Betty is phenomenal, obviously an Olympian herself. I got to work with her a little bit when I made my elite comeback after college, and she was just great. Her attention to detail, her ability to break apart your skills, but also be so kind and enjoy every moment. She was wonderful, wonderful.
Well, we're really excited to have her on the stream and kind of ask her about what she's looking forward to see with these junior athletes and to see their elite career develop over the next couple of years. I know personally, and I said this yesterday, but I truly believe it, when we would go to these young junior national team events when you're 10, 11, 12 years old, there would be a national team director there that would say, there are Olympians in this room. There are world champions in this room. And maybe it maybe call me crazy. I always thought that they were speaking to me. And luckily, my career panned out the right way, and I got to work really, really hard. I got a couple of really good breaks late in my career, and I was able to accomplish those dreams. I'd like to wager there are Olympians competing today. Would you say so?
I would absolutely say so, and I am so excited to be here for the beginning of something just so great.
Wow, huge release.
Very big release.
A lot of combos, it looks like. Back-to-back-to-back movements today. That is one of my favorite releases.
Jaysha's done a great job. That was a beautiful Maloney half.
This is a stacked bars routine.
Full twisting double back. She did let go just a little bit early, but she was able to keep it on her feet.
What would you say, Trinity, is one of those events as a young athlete that you're able to make a lot of distance between yourself and the other athletes? Are there any events that you can kind of really separate early on in your career and that kind of carries you through? Or maybe even, are there any events that some people just find naturally they're better at?
Yes, I feel like, again, everyone's different. For me, I feel like during my Elite Days, beam was that event for me. It was the event that I was like, okay, this is where I can make up some ground for, at the time I was not great at bars. So if I had a bad bar rotation or just, my normal bar rotation just was not that great for me, I would go over to beam and I would be able to make up some ground there.
Love it. So that series that the girls do, is that probably, would you say, the most stressful part of the event?
It definitely can be. It's a big skill. I would say probably, that was gorgeous. Probably the series and the dismount, for me, were always the most nerve-wracking.
I have never seen that combo, and I thought that was awesome.
That was good. Showing off some flexibility.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is there also a time limit on the beam as well?
There absolutely is, and they do get a warning, so you'll hear that bell ding sometimes. But most...
Wow. Double wolf turn it that late in the set. I think some girls usually mount with that.
Yes, a lot of them do it at the beginning, but each athlete is different.
Sure.
She was able to hold on to that front aerial there.
So what's interesting, Trinity, you spoke about it at the beginning of the set. In college, we're kind of usually critiquing every little bit of movement, because we're trying to get as close to that 10-0 as possible. And I'm going to give this dismount some breathing room. I know it's going to be big. Fantastic.
Ooh, speaking of college, what a stuck landing.
That was my first time I haven't jinxed someone.
Oh, good. Stop doing that.
So in college, we're like almost critiquing every single deduction. Every commentating event that I've heard, we're talking about every little microscopic movement. But here you said kind of in the elite side, just get through it, girl.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, that was me. I was the little elite kid that I was like, I just got to get through this routine. So obviously, in college, you just have your execution score, whereas in elite, you have your difficulty score and your execution score. So you kind of have to figure out just what works best for you. Are you going for that difficulty, or do you want the cleanest routine that you can do? And some people do a great job at keeping it clean and difficult, and others will do a little bit lower level and keep it clean. So it just depends on the athlete, but you kind of can play to your strengths there. Very nice first pass.
This is Sophie Dafian, on the floor. Looks like that corner is no longer cursed.
I can't. Paul, no more talking. You're done.
Chat, I'm sorry.
Two and a half. Was a little short, but kept it on her feet.
Sure. Really just love that focus. I can see it in her eyes, just knowing how much more of the set has to come. She might have had an early mistake, but it's like, you can't give up. The routine's still going. The music doesn't stop.
Yes.
That was really cool. Really nicely done from Sophie Dafian. Unfortunately, I would have thought that, floor for a lot of these young ladies would be a really opportune event to start on, but it seems like early mistakes on floor from just the few routines we've watched.
Yes, it happens. I mean, all of these athletes work hard in the gym, but first routine out, it can be difficult.
Sure.
Like, you get ahead of yourself. You might think you went too hard in warm-up, so you hold back a little bit when you compete. This is exactly why you have competitions, to practice that. And this is the first for a lot of them. And the good thing about gymnastics is this is just one event. They've got 3 more events, and the meet's not over until it's over.
Just a few more routines here, and we've got now Ainsley Stevens from Cincinnati Gym. Really excited to see anchor on the beam spot. Yesterday in the junior men, it was a team competition. Today, it's all individual, right? It's all vying for that individual junior national team spot. What would you say is momentum's role in today's competition? Is there momentum even in these individual competitions?
Sometimes there is. A lot of the times these girls are friends. And
Sure.
so they're cheering each other on. They're helping each other through maybe a tough event or whatever it may be. And so being there with each other, she's okay. Being there with each other is really helpful in itself. And that was one of my favorite things about competing, whether it was college or just an elite meet, like being there with my friends.
Yeah, I can imagine. They all work really, really hard. A lot of times sacrificing that normal childhood for prospects of greatness, right?
Absolutely.
Did you follow the traditional route of high school and middle school, or were you kind of more untraditional and more focused on the gymnastics?
I was more untraditional. At the time, we were going to camp for like a week every month. And so it got to be a lot, to the point where like my public school wasn't really prepared to take on something like that. So eventually I did have to go to cyber school.
Wow. COVID University before COVID University.
Basically.
Well, ladies and gentlemen in chat, we thank you so much for a great start to this amazing competition of the junior women, and we will be with you shortly. Thank you.
Showing beautiful control. She's clearly a crowd favorite.
The most reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Come see gymnastics like never before at the 2026 American Cup, March 7th at Lee's Family Forum. Be there as Las Vegas hosts this international team showdown with the world's best men and women competing side by side in a high-stakes elimination format where only one nation remains. You've never seen gymnastics like this. Tickets on sale now. Visit AmericanCup.com for more information. Don't miss any of the excitement at the 2026 American Cup.
Sorry. Gosh.
Oh, it's not just me.
Here is our junior women all-around. Leading the effort right now on the junior women's side, we have Avery Haynes with a 13.1, Jazzy Saravia with a 12.95, and in third place, Alexis Rayner with a 12.9. Anything surprising there for you, Trinity?
Not too surprising. We saw some great routines so far, and no, that looks great.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and chat, of course, we have a very special guest from our women's leadership and athlete development, Betty Okino. Thanks so much for being on here.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting, isn't it?
So,
a Winter Cup re-rank.
Exactly, and we just talked about that. This is the very first time in the women's history, really, at least in the recent history, of having a re-rank event here in February. What's the idea behind that, and what are you and the leadership staff looking for out of these junior women?
Well, the idea for the re-rank was that so that we could have athletes representing Team USA in the upcoming international competitions that will be coming that are in the winter and that are in the early spring, before we come back to championships where we rank again for the fall competitions. And that was the purpose and intention behind the re-rank. Also to give an opportunity, the purpose for the competition is to give an opportunity for our athletes to compete before they have to go out internationally and compete. So that's not their first competition on a podium and out.
Sure. And from these juniors, is this, Trinity was talking about earlier today, do you expect perfection today? Do you expect them to have all of their difficulty perfectly executed today?
No. So, we all know, because we've all done this before, that this point in the year or season is very challenging and difficult to get up for, right? So, and as we're periodizing as coaches, this is like the beginning of the ramp up. You're hoping to peak at championships and beyond that. So it's really tricky strategy-wise for coaches to get their athlete up enough to where they can do clean, strong, confident routines. That's what we want to see. Safe, confident, strong, clean routines now with the vision for what they're going to be able to add in their upgrades by championships. So we're seeing a few upgrades where they're comfortable here and there, but we're not expecting to see that, and nor are we expecting perfection. Just confidence and get out there, get competing, get comfortable with your routines.
And it's hard to compete new skills, especially at a big meet like this. Trinity and I talked about most of these girls probably are training on AAI at home, and you come to a brand new event, you come to an event on podium, you're in front of the leadership staff, it's scary.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new, especially for our juniors. Some of our seniors are a little bit more used to it, like what you have to adapt to, especially like when you go to an international competition and everything's different. The beam feels different, the vault does, all of this. They're used to it, these guys aren't, and this is, again, another purpose and reason for this Winter Cup is to begin getting used to this so that when you go out we have 2 assignments for the juniors that we're selecting from this, and that's gymnastics and Jeslo. So one is in Italy, one is in Canada. That's not their first time.
Yes, absolutely. And also, Betty, obviously you're in a newer role as well, so can you tell us a little bit about your new position and how you've been enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. I'm on the high performance leadership team. So initially when I had started last year, I was the developmental lead. So most and all of these athletes I've been working with for years.
Sure.
And now I've kind of transitioned a little bit more, and we're a 3-part leadership team. So we all lead the national team as well as developmental. And what I've enjoyed about it is having an opportunity to have influence in the program and the lives of these athletes and their coaches. Because it's not only the athletes, it's the coaches that we're also guiding and supporting as well. So it's been very fun.
Absolutely. And speaking of the coaches as well, can you explain to some viewers that may not know what the IEC is and what your relationship on staff is with them?
So the IEC is the International Elite Committee, and they are a group of coaches selected by the coaches in the community. They essentially make the rules for the elite program in our country. The HPLT, which is the High Performance Leadership Team, which is myself, Alicia Sacramone, and Chelsea Memo, we have a say and we can voice our opinions, but we do not have a vote. There are 3 voting members, and they are made up of coaches within the community that have to have certain criteria to be on the IEC. And so they're made up of like veteran coaches, new coaches, and someone in the middle. And they're the ones that make the rules and the decisions for the elite community.
Very interesting.
Wow, very interesting.
Thank you for explaining that as well.
You bet.
Betty, so, these girls, they probably don't and aren't the group that's going to be selected for the 2028 Olympic team. It might be a little bit too early for these young junior women. What can they look forward to, though, in this Olympic cycle? We talked about it. It may be just a little bit too early for some of the junior men to be on the 2028 team, but that doesn't mean they can't take part in the process and maybe learn from that process going into the next quadrennium, which is the next 4 years following the 2028 Olympics. What are you looking for to look for the next generation of USA women superstars?
So the beauty for these guys, should they make it onto national team now and in the next 2 years during this quad, is that they can see what the preparation is that they're going to be doing come 4 years later. And so they kind of get a feel for it already. So you get to adapt to it a little bit. You get a feel for what the pressure is going to be and what the expectations are. And that just it's aspirational. It puts that target there and it makes it in reach because they're around other people who are experiencing that. For these guys, what we're looking for is for them to steadily continue to build difficulties so that we as a country are where we need to be in 32. Oh my God.
Incredible. I personally don't even know how to forecast that far out, let alone think about competing. So it's really great to see.
And Kylie, who's competing right now, is on our junior national team already. She's hoping to re-rank here. But she, is essentially a veteran on our junior national team because she's done, some of the most international assignments last year, which is funny because, look how young she is.
It's crazy to be calling her
a veteran. I know.
At what, 15 years old?
She's not even 15, which is why she's
goodness.
She's a 14-year-old, I believe.
I can promise you that of all the adjectives that anybody talked about me at 14 years old, veteran status was not one of them. Nobody was calling me a veteran at 14.
I think
actually maybe she is 15. I correct myself. Or she's at least turning 15 this year.
So now that difficulty, everybody knows, we watch the Olympics, we see Simone Biles, we see Jordan Childs, we saw that Olympic team. Everybody's got big difficulty. And I feel like that's kind of been our advantage as a country over the last few years on the women's side. Big gymnastics, and it always helps when it's done really well.
Yes.
Is that something that is from the top down very important to the high performance team?
Difficulty. To have a high difficulty score is important. So you say big gymnastics, and it's funny because if you notice, the code has sort of changed, adapted a little bit because the FIG has been trying to make it a more even playing field because the U.S. has dominated with the big gymnastics.
Doesn't sound like that's our fault.
I think it's a them. Well, I don't know. I'm on air, so anyway, let me digress. I would say that they have changed the code so that it can make it a more even playing field for those athletes that can't necessarily do big skills. So you'll see more combination tumbling, which is the direction they're trying to go to even the playing field. That gives you more bonus. So we're looking to play the code in a smart way by adding difficulty.
Trinity, as we said before, don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what we got into that earlier.
You have to play to your strengths.
Yeah.
If you're not, then you're not taking full. You have to.
You have to.
And you have to read the rules, right? They're set. It's not necessarily a choice. They're going to be judging you either way based on those rules.
Exactly.
So you might as well be the best at those rules.
At those rules, exactly. Read the rules, know them, and that's one of the main things that we try to enforce with our coaches. And just to give a coach perspective, the amount that they require to know is immense. Sure. The rules are very detailed. A lot of these coaches are also playing in both fields. They have athletes that are doing dev gymnastics, so the level, age group, and doing FIG. Wow. 2 different codes that they need to know.
So, Betty, we've got somebody in the chat here saying, and it might be a tough question. We said, ask Betty about our vault crisis right now. Sorry, I'm not chat. This is chat. So tell us a little bit about, is vault one of those areas that you as the high-performance team are looking at and saying, how do we stay competitive? It's kind of hard to potentially, no idea whether or not it's going to be, potentially lose a Yurchenko double pike.
Yes, it is hard to lose a Yurchenko double pike, and historically, this is where the U.S. has dominated on vault. Like, we vault, and we're 5 points ahead of the rest of the country
really
because
does
of
help.
and it does, and that's never going to go away because of the nature of vault. So that is definitely something we are working on, and we're working on it with a developmental group because we realize it's not just going to happen now at the senior level. It needs to happen when they're 11, 12 years old. They're already building that. And we are in a better position now with our next group of athletes that's coming in 32 with regard to vault. So it's something we have been addressing and we are working on, but it does take building. It doesn't just it's not just going to happen. It takes a generation of building. And we did dip in that area.
And what about the Olympics 2028 here in the States?
You know, people think that it's like an advantage to have an Olympics in your country and like there's going to be some special privileges and stuff, but really it ends up, it's quite stressful. It's stressful. Sure. There's a lot more pressure on the athletes. There's pressure on the organizing committee to get it right and to do the right things. I think it's very exciting to have an Olympics in our backyard. Like, we can take an advantage of certain things. Like, we're here so we can bring our athletes into LA, to check out the venues, to do different things that you wouldn't get to do if you weren't in a home country.
Yeah.
It will be very interesting. I think that one of the main things that we're focusing on getting our athletes prepared to deal with the madness that is going to be, and it's going to start much earlier because it's here than it would if they had to travel somewhere else for it.
Sure. We got two different kind of perspectives yesterday talking to the men. It's very exciting, and the opportunities will potentially be endless in terms of sponsorship, partnerships, attention in the media, but it's also going to come with a massive amount of stress.
And this is the part that we're working actively with USOPC to give our athletes and coaches tools to manage this. I think that's going to be the most challenging part because everybody's going to want a piece of them and to pick and choose. And, you don't take every single opportunity, every single call, every single interview. You just need to learn how to...
You got to train to make the team.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. You got to train to make the team. And once you do, then you actually have to compete for a very long time. Right. Now that they're adding the mixed gender at the end of it. So not only do you have your week of regular competition, now we've added more for you at the end of it. So it's a marathon, and you need to pace yourself, even though you want to take every single opportunity.
Sure. Well, Betty, thank you so much for being on air with us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll let you get back to your job of watching those
I'm trying to watch.
We appreciate the claps. We appreciate the attention. That just means that you care about your job. So thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. What a great insight, Trinity, to just kind of have that perspective from somebody that's going to be a part of making that next Olympic team decision.
Yes, I told you she was phenomenal.
Coming up next on bars, All-American Alexis Reiner, followed by first state gymnast Cassie Sarabia.
A great Yurchenko full there, kind of hopped in place. It's really interesting to see these Yurchenko fulls because I feel like these are the same vaults that are going to develop into either the 1.5s in college or the double fulls, hopefully on the senior side. And now actually we do get to see Jordan Childs performing, and a few other athletes. I want to give credit where credit is due, and all their flowers. A few other great athletes in college competing double fulls.
Yes.
That's way more unique.
It starts from the Yurchenko full. That's a great foundation. So I love to see, of course we want to see them go for those big vaults sometimes, but it's great to see the junior athletes doing a nice, big, clean Yurchenko full because that is the foundation that they need to continue to move forward.
now we're back to the floor exercise. Really going to be excited to see if some of these athletes maybe settle in more as the competition goes on. And there was one of those combo passes that Betty was talking about, a front step out all the way to the double full. Hopefully in the coming years that turns into a double back or a double pike.
Yes. And also you'll notice she did a front pike step out, and those older girls are doing front layout step outs, front full step out. So that is another thing, a great foundation to keep progressing upon. Very nice.
Really well done.
She's got great control.
You know, I was really looking forward to seeing that step back as though it was in college.
Makes it a little bit easier to have control of your landings when you can lunge. But unfortunately in elite gymnastics, it is a deduction.
Really nicely done. One of the best floor routines we've seen today.
That was great.
I always thought that was such a cool mount to just backflip onto a 4-inch wide piece of wood.
So impressive. Very difficult. Another very difficult combination. Side aerial, layout step out.
Oh, I think that we're going to have a wonderful rest of this routine. Wow, what a fight. What a fight. Again, another double wolf turn late in the routine. You know, maybe it's because I think that I've tried that skill on the floor, and it kind of hurt to be that deep in a squat, first of all,
well, they're
with
a
one
little
leg.
better than you at this, okay? You don't do the beam.
That's okay. I don't, listen, I don't need to be, and I don't need to. Wow, it looked like almost her foot was all the way off the beam and she still managed to stay on.
Comes up with the stuck landing.
So Trinity, I think some great insight maybe from your perspective of being a junior elite gymnast and then moving up into the NCAA ranks. What's that recruiting process like? You know, and I would love to talk about your success at Florida. And obviously a lot of girls hope that they find their home and find a place that they love when they're at school. And I think I speak for you when I say I think you were able to have something like that. So talk about a little bit of that recruiting process. Maybe we've got families that are listening in from home that have got young ladies in their family that hope to have college aspirations. And what can they do and what can they expect getting into the NCAA program?
Yes. Well, starting off with all of these athletes competing here, this is great exposure. Like we said, there are college coaches in the stands watching these young athletes. So it's just a great exposure event. But throughout your younger career, the most important thing is building your own confidence, right? Being a great teammate, being great in school, because those are the things that college coaches are looking for. They're not just looking for a great athlete, they're looking for a great person. They're looking for a well-rounded person. And most college coaches really want to continue to develop you as a person throughout your college career as well. So I think focusing on those three things, your confidence, staying great in school, of course, which I'm sure all of these athletes are.
Sure.
And being a great teammate.
Sure. Sure. It's a lot easier to recruit a great person who's a pretty good athlete compared to the opposite. A great athlete, but a kind of wishy-washy teammate. So to all those younger athletes on the men and women's side, it's kind of that as simple as working really hard and being a good person, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And also remembering that, like, obviously it can be, this is high stakes, this meet, and there are college coaches in the stands watching you. They're not expecting you to be perfect either, and that's something that you also have to remember. They're looking to see how do you handle when you're not.
Sure.
Because things are never going to go exactly your way, and you have to learn how to handle those situations.
You know, and talk about maybe, Trinity, what it's like to compete for a team. You know, and maybe we'll get into that right after this floor routine because I have a feeling this is going to go big.
I already like this floor routine, first of all. So sharp.
Love the attitude.
Yes. Full twisting double tuck.
Huge.
Keeps it on her feet.
Just love that aggression that she takes to her choreography.
Yes. She's hitting every beat.
Does that show you a lot of practice on the choreography?
Yes, and it's so important to practice your choreography.
There's that front layout that we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. And notice how this artistry is a little bit different than most of the other routines that we've seen.
Sure.
But it's just as good.
And it fits her personality. That's
Absolutely.
what I love seeing that, and I don't have a great eye, as you can imagine, for artistry in women's gymnastics, but I can tell when a gymnast loves their routine.
Yes. She's performing her routine. She's not doing it. She's performing it. Which takes a lot of practice because you have to have a lot of great endurance to make it through a routine like this. So you have to practice those things every day in the gym as well. The dance is just as important as the tumbling.
Funny enough, Trinity, this was a routine that the athlete performed, and sure enough, it was the best one that we've seen so far.
It was great. I love that routine.
Wiped. You can tell she's wiped from that set. I love to see that. So Trinity, tell me what that's like to kind of jump back to our other conversation. What's it like to go from, hey, you might be friends, but at the end of the day, hey, I want an international assignment here. And I'll be honest, it doesn't become Team USA until you really make the team. When you make the team, then it can be about securing the medals. But up until then, you're going for the spot, and that spot could be somebody else's. It's a fight to the top. But that, obviously we know, iron sharpens iron. Good gymnastics get pushed to the top, and the top continues to get elevated, and the bottom gets elevated, which is what we want as a country for our overall level of gymnastics. But you get to Florida, you get onto this team, and all of a sudden, it's exactly that, a team, a bunch of other ladies with you, young women that are trying to do things not just for themselves anymore, but for the school and for each other.
Yes, it's really so special. And being on a team is so great because you do get to push each other. Just like you said, iron sharpens iron, and you hold each other accountable. You push each other. You get each other through the hard days. You really do. And you're working towards a common goal. She did come off the beam there. She's going to read. She climbed up faster than I would have.
Oh, man. Just right back into it.
Yes.
And Trinity, are there girls on the team that didn't have, elite aspirations on Florida?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
how was kind of that balance between, hey, you don't have the elite aspirations that I did, but I still care and value you.
Yes, and that's something that can be very hard on both sides. Obviously, when these elite athletes come into college, that can be intimidating for anybody who wasn't an elite athlete, but it's just important to know that the playing ground, it levels out again in college. So you all are just as important, just as capable, just as wonderful as any elite athlete that's in college as well. And I think that's something, it's a mindset thing, right? And so, and it trickles down again from the top. So the coaches have to create an atmosphere where the gymnasts can feel like, okay, I'm here, I deserve to be here, and I am good enough.
Now on floor we have Ainsley Stevens. Again, hey, got through that corner.
It sure did.
In Trinity, how often are we changing floor routines? Is it year to year? Is it season by season? Is it you kind of hold the same floor routine for that year and
that was great.
You'll decide the next year if you're going to change? How does that work?
Honestly, I think every gym does it a little bit differently. Some gyms keep their floor routines for a couple of years. A lot of gyms get a new routine every year. I think it just depends on, what the athlete's comfortable with, what the coaches like. But it's pretty individualized, I feel.
This has always been crazy to me.
I don't know how to do that. That's so cool.
I liked how she kind of took a glance at the beam to make sure she knew where she was aiming. That was incredible. Very controlled. And that's actually, we talked about yesterday, patience when you're doing gymnastics, letting the gymnastics come to you. That looked incredibly patient for Jaysha.
Yes, it did. Looks like she may have broken that connection there, but it's important, again, to stay calm, especially on a 4-inch piece of wood.
I don't know how you guys do that. So are those step backs also going to be a deduction?
They are. Anytime you're moving your feet out of skills, it's going to be a deduction unless it's dance.
Just the dismount here. Long routine, it feels like.
This was a long routine. Round off double pull. Stuck with it from beginning to end.
Sure.
Was it perfect? No.
But again, that's what they want to see.
Exactly. Every wobble she was able to bring right back to center. That's important. Oh, poor thing. She missed her block.
That was massive.
That was huge. See, another big layout. See, these are the ones that you see and you're like, oh, she's working up in the gym.
Yep, yep.
Big balls.
And right now we've got Alexis Rayner replay on the bars. I have a feeling this routine's going to be big.
Well, that was a gorgeous Jaeger.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
She was able to hang on to it.
Sure.
But
so what's that like scrambling, it almost feels like? Your brain's moving a million times an hour. You're upset that you obviously missed your skill, but you just have to keep going, right?
Yes, you've got to recenter yourself and figure out what you're doing next. Oh, she does sit down the dismount as well. It's okay.
And now we've got Jazzy Saravia on the bars.
Very nice.
Huge.
Beautiful. Very nice back salto as well.
You know, we really like talking about, with Betty, about how we want to see gymnasts that are able to compete their level.
Yes.
You know, that although, of course, we want to push that difficulty, safety, comfortability, and confidence is what a lot of the leadership staff is trying to see.
That was a very nice routine. And yes, safety first.
And now we've got one more replay for us all. Yeah, just, I love that aggression again. You can see it. They're attacking the bar routine. Oh, wow.
Her in-bars are phenomenal.
Oh, wow. Well, that looked like a couple of combos there, if I'll be honest.
If she could teach me how to do that, that would be great. She's doing a phenomenal job.
Oh, my gosh. Jam-packed.
Her in-bars are spectacular.
And so that looks like one of those things that that athlete found. I'm good at this. I'm going to use this as much as possible.
Exactly, Paul. Exactly. And that's exactly what all of them should be doing. Work to your strengths.
We've got Adelie Van Grinsven, and that's what I really like. Like, kind of talked about this earlier in the day. I love the elite career because, or the elite gymnastics, because it's gymnasts that are doing unique routines to their strengths. Looked like there was a small little error there as she jumped up. Is that right?
Yes, she didn't quite get off the board, so her leap was small, but she at least stayed on the beam. She didn't come off.
Sure. Now, with that board right there, did you... I don't know why, and probably I wouldn't ever come into be an issue for me. I would want that board moved.
So a lot of the coaches do move it, but you don't have to.
Sure. Are they being lazy? No, I'm just kidding.
Me personally, I'm moving the board. Very nice.
Well, thank you so much, fans and chat, for being with us for the second rotation. Coming back for rotation number 3, we're going to be having Alicia Sacramone-Quinn joining us, which is a true legend, and she's going to be sharing her insights about the team and everything to go. So look forward to rotation 3. Thank you so much for joining us, and be right back.
Gymnastics' biggest stars at the 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships at the Mortgage Matchup Center in Phoenix. Cheer on Olympic medalists and the next generation of USA Gymnastics stars as they rise to the challenge and vie for national titles. Tickets on sale now. Visit XfinityChampionships.com for more information. Don't miss any of the action at the 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships.
Earth, from the horizontal comforts of your couch, is merely dirt and sticks and moss and bugs and stuff. But when you're double backflipping off a backcountry cliff, or hallucinating on 1,000,000 micrograms of exhaustion, you might just see Earth as a world of endless attractions. Welcome to the... Hello? Excuse me, I was still talking. Anyway, welcome to the world of... All conditions gear!
Sonia and Gerald trust Prevagen for their brains, and this is their story.
I'm Sonia.
And I'm Gerald, and we live in Jacksonville, Florida.
We are both military veterans, and we provide dental care for underserved communities. We have a very busy life.
We take Prevagen for our brains.
I would honestly say I like the way that Prevagen makes me feel. At the end of the day, I feel confident and amazing.
Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years.
Helium Melanin showing beautiful control.
He's clearly a crowd favorite. The most reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that.
To succeed in gymnastics, it takes strength, determination, dedication, and it takes you. The USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to empower athletes at all levels and disciplines of our sport and to enrich communities for all-around success. Give to the USA Gymnastics Foundation today, because their success starts with you.
Or down from 15.
That's in gymnastics in one place. Only Xfinity puts you that side with the best weekday experience. Xfinity, imagine that. Here at the halfway point of the junior women's competition for the 2026 Winter Cup. Let's take a look at the top 5.
Just like old times. Still got it. Still got the flexibility.
25.05. In fourth place, we'll actually have a tie for third. Madeline Eagle and Audrey Van Grinsman. Boca and Pacific Race respectively, with scores of 25.35. In second place, the first state, Avery Hayes, 25.5. And leading the way the all-around here at the halfway point to the 25.
And welcome back to the 2026 Junior Women's Winter Cup. Here we have our all-around standings. Right now, tied for third place is both Madeline and Audrey with a 25.35. We have in second place Avery Haynes with a 25.5. And in first place, Kylie Smith with a 25.75. Trinity still looks like it's anybody's competition.
Absolutely it is, and they're all going to be fighting for it to the very end.
And ladies and gentlemen, and especially chat, we have an extremely special guest with us, Alicia Sacramone Quinn, a member of that leadership high-performance team that we've got guiding and leading the U.S. to all those amazing victories in the last couple of years. Alicia, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Alicia, we've got the junior women. You know, obviously, as we talked about with Betty, probably not just yet ready for that 2028 team, just 2 years away. What are we looking for from these junior women, though?
We are looking for untapped potential. We know these athletes work very hard, and it's very early in the season, and we know it's tough to be competition ready at this point, but we're looking for potential. We're not looking for perfection right now, and we are just investing in what our future can hold.
Yeah, I love that. I really like that. We're looking for promise, not perfection. I wish more people said that about me when I was competing.
I'm pretty sure nobody said that about me when I was competing, so I get it.
So talk to me a little bit about what that transition, though, looks like from the juniors to the seniors.
It's honestly a very difficult jump moving from the junior to senior. The expectations are very different. At the senior level, we're looking for a minimum of a 5.5 start value on the lower end. Like, that's what we want our baseline seniors to have. And our juniors, we're working around like a 5.0. So it's a big jump in the difficulty that we're looking for. And it's a difficult time in their life. They're getting taller. They're adjusting to like growing up. And so it's a lot of things thrown at them at a very kind of pivotal time. But it just takes some growing pains, and then they figure it out. The first year senior is typically a little bit rough. So we've been trying to do things at camp to get them ready for that and prepare them so they're not, total culture shock once they make that move.
Sure.
And speaking of things thrown at them, how about the re-rank? What are your opinions? We asked Betty this as well, but just wanted to get your insight on it as well.
The men's program has been doing the re-rank for years now, and we thought it would be a great opportunity for more athletes get the opportunity to represent Team USA and get onto the national team and potentially get an international assignment. So we were really looking for it to start building our potential. Just like we said, we're looking for that future generation, and why not give them an opportunity to be part of Team USA and get out on international scene?
Yes, they're going to get more experience, and experience, they grow and they'll get better. So I agree. I think it's great.
I kind of would have appreciated a 12-month period where I was kind of on national team, but I totally agree with you. I think what we always found as a national team is that it's hard to incentivize athletes to take this meet seriously and show up and need to compete and want to compete at their highest level if there's nothing behind it.
Definitely. I think for us too, especially at the senior level, with some of our athletes choosing to compete in the NCAA, which we love, this gives those other seniors who couldn't get a spot in the summertime to be able to get a spot now. So it just, like we thought, more opportunity, and it gives this competition a little bit more weight.
Sure, and usually at the U.S. Championships, that's a 2-day competition. Today, 1 day, one life. That's all you get, 4 events. What's that like? And do you guys expect, certain athletes that may have always been on that bubble, maybe they hop in, and certain athletes that could have been a mainstay suddenly have 2 bad events and they're out?
We understand that it's kind of risky, right? In championships, you can have a bad day and recover and still kind of secure your spot. Here, it's all on the line very quickly, and you have to make sure you're smart about how your routines are going to go. If they're looking a little bit rough in training, maybe we're pulling some things out to play it safe. Because I think, honestly, the hardest part is making national team. Mm-hmm. If you are strategic with what you're doing, plan your routines accordingly, then you can maybe try and upgrade if you get an assignment or at a camp to show what you're working on. It's all about planning, which is a difficult process if you don't think of the year or even the quad in a big picture.
Mm-hmm. I really like that kind of perspective of waiting for camp to kind of show you and the rest of the high-performance staff, this is what I have. This is what I can do. I'm going to go out here and have high gymnastics IQ, compete to my strengths, compete within myself, have a great competition, go 4 for 4, make the national team, and then wait till those skills are ready. Talk about maybe that kind of immersion. Betty talked about maybe some of these juniors that make the national team over the next kind of 2 years are going to be privy and to be able to see that process of what it takes to make a national and Olympic team eventually. they get to see that at such an early age, and that kind of primes them for their time in 2032.
I think knowledge is power, and you're allowing these athletes to see what path is ahead of them. So if they are approaching it with more knowledge and being more prepared, we're only setting them up to be successful. So I think it's important that they grow in the system. Yes, we'll have some newcomers pop up here and there, but being able to grow and have us know you and help guide you through this journey is something that we take very seriously, and we're like really excited to see some of these kids from our Devo program start jumping up, and we've known them since they were itty bitty, and now they're not itty bitty, they're just bitty, you know. They're still growing and they're just doing so well. So the progression is there, and it's nice to witness their growth in gymnastics and hopefully watch their dreams come true one day.
And you talked about just, you know, they may be so young, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, but they carry themselves with such maturity. What's that about? And that's got to be a tone from the top.
I think with gymnastics, you grow up very quickly. You are expected to keep a very regimented routine. You're put a lot of discipline and sacrifices in your daily life. So these kids, they grow up fast, and these young women are mature athletes, and you see their age when you ask them to pick a song for camp playlist. I'm like, all right, what do you want to listen to today? And they're giving me Disney playlists, and I'm like, okay, here we go. You guys act like you're 26, and then you remind me that you're 14, and I love it. So it just comes with the territory. They're doing a lot of difficult, dangerous gymnastics, and you have to be mature to handle that. So they still let their age show at time, and it's nice to let them have best of both worlds.
So speaking about some of these international opportunities for these young ladies coming up, what are the goals?
At this point, we're obviously trying to gauge who's healthy, who's not, see where they stand difficulty-wise. We have some junior and senior competitions coming up. For the juniors, they're really looking at Gymnastics, which is in Canada, and then we have the Just Slow Cup over in Italy. So both of these competitions are great for new national team members to get international experience, to get themselves in front of international judges, just to see how scoring is subjective. Our judging here may be a little bit different than what the judging in Italy or Canada is. So just seeing where they rack up internationally is important for them, and then just getting them that experience, because that's how they get better. It may not be a good competition. They may not have what it takes to be on the top right now, but I've noticed that when you send athletes out, it gives them that extra drive because they now know what their competition is. So if they don't see it with their own eyes, I don't think it's easy for them to buy in and be like, oh, I have a lot more work to do. So seeing that competition firsthand really lights a fire underneath these athletes, and they get going that much more after getting an assignment.
Hopefully we get a chance to see some really, really incredible vaulting that just happened in front of us. A massive Yurchenko double full from a junior. We'll be seeing that hopefully shortly. But Trinity, maybe ask Alicia, that's a tongue twister, about the 2028 games.
Yes, the 2028 games are in LA on U.S. soil. So how exciting is that? And also, what kind of stressors come with that as well?
We are very excited to have a home Olympic Games in 2028. It does put an immense amount of pressure on our athletes, not just for gymnastics, but for any sport, because you're going to have every eye on you to see how our team's going to be chosen, see how they're going to, rack up compared to everybody else. And it's almost worse, I think, having it on home soil. It's going to be great fan-wise, like think of the amount of support just from people coming to watch, but it is definitely going to be like a pressure cooker of emotions and stakes, but we are really looking forward to it. We're trying to prepare ourselves by getting out to California at some point to see the arena, to see where we'd be training, just to get a lay of the land early, and then we can just plan accordingly and know and be aware of what is going to be ahead of us.
And are those conversations that you're having with the athletes and coaches as far as like the stressors? Because maybe some of the younger athletes don't quite understand what maybe that stress may look like.
We try to give them as much from our experience as athletes as we can, and knowing that there's going to be people trying to distract you because everybody wants a piece of you when it's an Olympic year and you've been showing promise, and so you're going to be pulled a lot of directions, but you just got to stay the course, and trying to remind them, like, if you do your job, it's the best thing you can do for you. So just staying focused is the hardest thing, and just knowing that people are going to want you everywhere, and you just got to do the gymnastics.
Here are those two vaults that we were just talking about.
Big Yurchenko double full.
A beautiful double full. Mia's been one of our stronger vaulters as a junior, and so it's so exciting to see her come and hit that on a podium. The pressure to vault, it's scary, right? When you raise your hand up, you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to land on my feet. And so it says a good thing about her for the ability to do that.
I imagine for the juniors, seeing Amia at a camp and seeing her push this difficulty already for the juniors has to be motivating. It's, there's definitely that excuse that, and we all do it as athletes. Well, nobody's doing it yet, so I don't have to. I shouldn't be expected to do it. Amia comes to camp, does a Yurchenko double full. Everybody's saying, wait, hold on. We're doing Yurchenko double fulls already? That's got to be motivating.
As a vaulter, I love that. So I think as a country right now, vault is one of our weaker events, and we're really focusing on trying to build that up. And the expectation before was, yes, a Yurchenko full for a junior, that's good enough. And now we're hoping to up the expectation. We want to see 1.5s or doubles at the junior level because internationally, that's what those athletes are doing.
I love it. I remember there was a moment at the World Championships, and I was in the vault final, and as soon as I got up to the stage, they announced my name because I was so nervous. I just wanted to get my Yurchenko double pike over with. They announced my name, and the entire arena shook, and I could feel the ground trembling. I blacked out. I didn't want to go to vault anymore. Vault final's fun until you're in the vault final.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Alicia, you've been in the vault final before.
I've been in a few vault finals before. I personally, it's my favorite. One, because it's over the fastest. Two, I just always felt more comfortable at vault, but I think it is something when you're younger, athletes have a hard time wrapping their head around running full speed at a solid object and hoping to get up and over and land on your feet. So I think it's been a great event for us over the years, and I know we're in a little bit of growing pains right now, but I think we'll get back to it. And like I said, it's personally my favorite event. I love it. So we are watching Cassandra Chan from Pacific Rain here on floor. For those of you who don't know, obviously it's 1 minute and 30 seconds straight of dance, tumbling, artistry, ending with a double tuck.
And as much gymnastics as you can jam pack in it.
Yeah, literally you have 90 seconds to get as many difficulty bonus points and lose the least amount of deductions. And it's tiring. Getting endurance for a floor routine is one of the toughest aspects of gymnastics.
And you were telling me earlier when we were doing our pre-interviews that there are girls pushing 16 plus on the bars around the world. Is that also, that's got to be one of our attention pieces right now as a country, to have high connection values, and just unfortunate little miss there, but that's got to be an area of attention.
Bars and beam we always keep a close eye on because we know the difficulty can spike up pretty quickly, and other countries really do have an advantage on those two events. We have capitalized a lot of medals on vault and floor, and we've been working on improving our beam and bars, but it's something where you have one or two athletes who are event specialists that can really get a beautiful score and have great execution, and we're constantly chasing that. And we haven't had that many event specialists recently, but it's something we are working to build upon because, not every athlete is an all-around athlete, and that doesn't mean they shouldn't get the opportunity to go and compete their best events and potentially represent Team USA.
That's a really interesting point because, as many fans probably know, Steven Edorosic, pommel horse specialist. Mm-hmm. If he was on the rings, probably wouldn't be the best case scenario. No, I'm just giving Steven some grief there. But he obviously specialized in just the pommel horse, and he was able to impact the team score enough to put him on that team. That obviously hasn't been traditionally what's happened for our gymnast on the USA women's side. It seems like everybody could make the all-around final if we didn't have a limit. Mm-hmm. But what's that like? Maybe is there some strategy there, focusing especially now with this mixed cup event? Maybe it's prioritizing just a couple of events and actually maybe saving yourself. A long day of all-around, that's exhausting on the body. Could these athletes maybe focus in on a couple of events leading into that Olympics and just make the team based on those two events?
I think being an event specialist is a very unique niche, and now with the mixed cup, that gives them even more of an opportunity to maybe secure a spot on an Olympic team or even a world championship team if we get on going that far. But I think I was an event specialist. I didn't do bars. I had 3 world-class events, and I had probably a level 9 bar routine. And so I was somebody who capitalized on that. Like at a certain point, they go, please just stop doing bars. We need you on the other 3 events, and we don't need you getting hurt trying to just get through a bar routine. So it is something that if we have a few athletes who go down that route and you're getting close to a 16, you're definitely going to be putting your name in that mix of securing a spot for our Olympic team.
Now, would that have to look more like on 2 events, more so than 1 event? Because it's really hard to make.
I would say the more events you have, the better. At least 2 for an event specialist, I think, is a good spot to be in. 3, fantastic. 2 is like you're making a good case for yourself.
We've always said in one of those tougher scenarios, when somebody goes down at an Olympic team or an Olympic event or on a world championship team, it's good to be able to just fill that gap.
You got to fill the void.
It might not be perfect, but it's really nice from a selection committee to know, hey, if worse comes to worse, we still have an athlete. I don't know the last time that Steven put on ring grips, just to say. Well, Alicia, we really thank you so much for being on here. We're going to let you go back to watching the next generation of future athletes. We thank you so much for taking the time, giving a little bit of insight for that Olympic experience, and also just for being the person you are. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Coming up next on meeting for first state will be Amaria Moore.
Unfortunately, they're a miss for that release move. As Trinity, as we talked about, these bar routines are jam-packed with difficulty, and sometimes they're just not ready.
Yes, and it's hard. Bars is one event specifically that when you fall, you really lose the whole entire rhythm of your routine, and it makes it a lot harder to get back on track.
And we really hope that the fan base can appreciate that kind of insight that we have. We've got such a unique experience here today to just get insight from people at the top of USA Gym women's gymnastics. We're just so proud of the place that we're at as a country, as an organization, to bring on such great and insightful people such as Betty Okino and Alicia Sacramone. It's been great, in my opinion, to just kind of get that feedback to see where they want USA Gymnastics to go, and obviously it's to the top of the leaderboard.
Yes, and you don't always get to hear from them, so it's so nice that we got to talk to them and get some insight for the fans that are watching.
Adelie with that massive full in. Talk about that big bounce. Is that a product you think of that floor being a little extra bouncy?
Yes. Sometimes on podium, the floor on podium is extra bouncy. And if you come down with your chest down and your legs straighter, it's going to bounce right from under you. I've done it more times than I'd like to admit. So you really do have to, like you were saying, let the landing come to you. When you try to force it, it tends to bounce from under you. I personally love a speed floor, though. It's quick.
Sure.
And some floors are like too soft for me and slow. It's more like a rod floor, but the speed floor is quick, and so if you're tight, you'll fly, literally.
Trinity, I was texting you just before we started. Your double layout is probably my favorite piece. Second to only my fiance's Yurchenko 1.5 on vault. See, I caught myself there. I knew what I'm doing. But your double layout is just one of those pleasures to watch in gymnastics. I've always really, really enjoyed a massive double layout on floor. And it's one of those skills that I can always really look forward to seeing in the NCAA women's gymnastics.
It's actually so funny because my club coach, Tony Feda, so a double layout's my favorite skill.
Sure.
But
would be mine too if mine looked like that.
But before I learned how to do a double layout, a piked full in was my favorite skill. And he kept telling me, once you learn a double layout, you're never going to have to do a piked full in again. And I was like, yeah, right, Tony. Because first of all, it took me forever to learn how to do a double layout. I don't really know why, because once it clicked, I felt kind of like, why could this happen earlier? But he was right, and I had to tell him that he was right. So, because double layout is definitely my favorite skill.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, has anybody ever tried a double layout off the beam?
Ask Simone.
She probably has.
Probably. These juniors look so calm up there on the beam, which is so impressive.
Do you think that that's related to the fact that beam, this is now their third event?
That definitely helps. You start to settle in as the meet goes on. So that's like how we were talking about. When you start on beam, that's a hard event to begin on.
Sure.
Because if you're already nervous, can't quite get that heart rate down, it's hard to stay on the beam.
Just a double full that had a little bit too much power. I feel like she's probably able to be doing it 2.5.
I guarantee she can probably do that.
And here's the other Van Grinsven sister.
Look at how sharp. Look at how she dances through her fingertips. Just 12 years old,
That's incredible.
mind you.
Wow. Now, do you think that she's getting all the amount of spring that the floor has to offer?
I mean, she's just a little thing. She's only 12. So she's just going to continue to get stronger. So I can't wait to see her in a couple of years as she continues to progress. Very nice.
Just a little bit of mistake there, right?
Yes.
She obviously played that off, but, you know, it looks like she was right in front of the judges there. I don't think they're going to give her the benefit of the doubt on that one.
No,
actually, come to find out, don't ever think that the judges ever give the benefit of the doubt.
No, never. Oh, there she goes. That's a great floor routine.
Really impressive again, and as we were talking about, it's only 12 years old. What an experience to be competing an elite level floor set this early on in your career.
Oh my goodness.
And now we have Ainsley McCauley. You know, Trinity, tell me a little bit about during maybe this set where some of the difficulty that they could add in would be, and maybe what some of these skills kind of set them up for later on in their careers. Obviously, we know with vault it's going to be a full to a double full, but talk to me a little bit about beam.
Yeah, so that's a triple series right there. So that's a difficult series. So she already has that. Let's see what else she got here. Side aerial, split jump, straddle jump. Okay, she gets connective bonus there as well.
Kept moving, right?
Yes. So that leap pass, she can always add a third jump to that leap pass, or like a swing down or something out of it to get connection bonus. Oh, side summy. I remember when I was competing, they were very strict at how they judged side summies in order to get credit for it.
Sure, now just gearing up for this dismount. I believe I saw her warm up a double back Really, really well done. That's a big routine, it looked like, honestly.
That is a big routine. That was a very good routine.
Well, we really appreciate you all being with us for 3 rotations. We've got 1 more rotation to go. See you all back in just a couple of moments. Thank you very much.
Showing beautiful control.
She's clearly a crowd favorite.
The most reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Keep going. Keep working. Keep climbing. And always keep playing. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health, with a skilled team of dedicated specialists, along with advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose us to help them keep moving and doing the things that move them. Find a Baptist Health provider today.
Come see gymnastics like never before at the 2026 American Cup, March 7th at Lee's Family Forum. Be there as Las Vegas hosts this international team showdown with the world's best men and women competing side by side in a high-stakes elimination format where only one nation remains. You've never seen gymnastics like this. Tickets on sale now. Visit AmericanCup.com for more information. Don't miss any of the excitement at the 2026 American Cup.
And welcome back to Rotation 4 of the Junior Women Winter Cup 2026 here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's been a tight race so far, and let's see where the all-around standings are. In third place, tied with a 37.7, we have Avery Haynes and SB Chang. In second place, we have Amaya Pubanks with a 38.6, and in first place, Kylie Smith with a 39.1, a 5/10 lead. But as we know, Trinity, anything can happen in women's gymnastics.
Yes, absolutely. But Kylie does have some experience that some of the other girls do not have quite yet. So I'm not super surprised to see her at the top of the rankings.
Sure.
Now it's time for today's Prevagen memorable moment as we take a look back at some of Charlie Bullock's uneven bars from Winter Cup last year. Bullock posted a 13.3 and earned the event title. We look forward to seeing Charlie make her first appearance as a senior later today. Prevagen for your brain.
Well, Trinity, they're on their 4th event here. The fatigue is getting to them. The lactic acid is building up. It's been a long day of competition. It's winter outside. It was really cold walking in. How do they feel right now? And, give me two kind of perspectives. Maybe that girl that's having the meat of her life, she's about to make national team for the very first time, and also maybe that girl that hasn't been having her best day ever. How do they finish up, and what's that kind of perspective that they have going into this last routine?
Yes, so if you're having a great meet, you're going into your last event, it's really important to stay normal. Do your normal. Sometimes it's easy to get ahead of yourself because you're excited, you're doing well, it's your last rotation, but you still want to take it one skill at a time. You don't want to overthink. You want to stay calm, cool, and collected. And then for maybe some of those athletes that aren't having the meet that they were looking for, it's so important to know, hey, you've got this last event to finish strong. So you just give it your all on this last event. You try your best. That's all you can do. So it's really important to just go out there and be confident and enjoy this final rotation.
How did you look at the one touch that these girls are doing right now? Was the one touch important for you? Was the warm-up more important for you? What did it look like to have a bad warm-up but a good one-touch, a great warm-up but a bad one-touch? That's kind of the last thing that you're going to be feeling before you go on to the routine. What's that one-touch like?
Yes. So definitely warm-ups was really important for me. I wanted to have a good warm-up. One touch, it's nice to have a good one touch, but really I'm just trying to get warm again. Trying to touch the equipment really quickly and get warm again so that when I go back up the second time, I don't feel like I've been standing around for 30 minutes or something of that sort. So for me, the one touch was literally just trying to stay warm or get warm.
Sure. And I'm sure as you got older, you figured out what your body needed for the sport, for that specific routine. As you're a little younger, I imagine it's kind of all dictated by the coach's plan, which they know best, especially because they're athletes. They know how long they've been training. They've been together for so many years. It's that great relationship. But as you get older, it becomes a little bit more individualized. I imagine in college, that's very much individual.
Yes. So as you get older, obviously with experience, you start to learn what works for you. And so as I got older, I learned, I don't need all of that. Like, I can just do this, and as long as I'm warm, I'm good to go.
Sure.
But when I was younger, of course, I leaned on my coaches more. I didn't have as much experience. I didn't know as much. And so I needed them to tell me, hey, what do I need to do during this one touch so that I wasn't just frantic and running around.
Sure. One of those things that I'm seeing right now from this young lady on beam, it's tough. It looked like she was just ready to go, but the judges ain't ready for you yet, and that's a really tough scenario to be in. It's knowing, I just want to get on the event, I just want to get on the event, I just want to get on the event.
That is tough, but sometimes it's a blessing in disguise because I've been in situations where I've been like super nervous, my heart's racing, and I cannot get it down, and then the judges are like, we're not ready for you, and I'm like, oh, dang, okay, like, I'll just take a second then,
sure.
And I'm able to get my heart rate back down.
Sure.
And go, she did come up short on that vault. That's the warm-ups. Oh.
Just competing.
Yeah.
Not competing yet.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
This concludes the warm-up. The competition resumes with the start of rotation 4. Starting off on ball for Pacific Range.
Really looking forward to have Avery Haynes now go into this last rotation. Seems like she's been having a pretty good day, and she's obviously excited to kind of showcase her gymnastics to the junior national team, coaching staff, and everybody, the leadership committee, to make that team.
Yes, like I said, I always loved ending on floor. So hopefully this floor group is pumped and ready to go to perform for not only the national team staff, but also the crowd.
Hopefully some of those nerves have gone away and they're just ready to perform.
Yes.
Wow. So there's one of those combo tumbling passes. That was incredible. A whip full back handspring, 2.5. I imagine later on in her career, hopefully she can add a double flip at the end of that.
I actually loved that pass, and she did it so well, too.
Just one more tumbling pass to go. Just a front handspring fold there. Maybe a little bit downgraded. Maybe just what she's had in the tank.
Yes, maybe downgraded. Maybe that's just what she's comfortable with right now. Either way, like we were talking about, like it's important to be doing safe gymnastics that you're comfortable with, gymnastics that you can stay on the equipment, stay on your feet.
And especially when you've got the national team spot on the line and a potential all-around podium, just get off the equipment.
Yes.
Hit a good set and get off.
Yes.
I really like this bar routine, by the way.
I was just about to say that. It's going...
Hitting those handstands.
Yes. And her releases were huge. Wow. Very impressive bar routine. Look, Coach is happy about it.
Yeah. And
oh!
And speaking about the coaches, I mean, you see that embrace for a lot of these young athletes, and just it's almost like they take on another relationship because it's such an emotional journey. You know, the coach cares about the athlete and their career, and also the athlete is depending on the coach for a lot of that guidance and a lot of that knowledge and that training program and all of that. Talk about maybe how important it is to have that healthy and good relationship with your coach.
Yes, it's so important, and it makes or breaks your careers sometimes. And I've been very lucky to have great coaches in my life that I have relationships with all of them to this day. And it's just a very special person that you spend a lot of time with, that you trust. And so they definitely can make a huge impact on you as an athlete and as a person for the rest of your life.
I know for me, I absolutely still am close with my club coach. I'm close with my college coaches. I mean, those are the people that helped me turn into who I am.
Yes.
You know, it's just they were there alongside that journey. They saw the growing pains, absolutely, the rough days and the attitude, but I'm lucky to have them. Here's Amaya following up that incredible floor routine now on the bars.
Very nice.
Excuse me, that incredible vault that we just saw. Looked like she hit that bottom bar there.
She did, but she stuck with it.
That's incredible.
It is, because that can really throw you off.
Yeah, they threw it. And a Ginger that late in the routine. Jam back in that.
I was just about to say that. You took the words out of my mouth. Wow. Very
you know what?
difficult routine.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that I think we were talking about with Alicia, that you see this kind of difficulty being thrown down at camp, it's going to want you and force you to elevate because you know other girls are doing it.
Yes. As nervous as I used to get for camp, I used to be so excited to go and see my friends and train with my friends and the national staff, because I felt like I did always learn something new while I was there. And me and my coaches were able to work with the national staff to determine what was the routine that I'm doing at that time, the best version that I can do, or is there a better version that I can do that I can, like I said, like take advantage of the code and of my strengths.
All-American Gymnastics on floor. Now on floor for Pacific Rain, Patrick and Princeton. On vault,
What's that kind of relationship right before you go on beam? What's that conversation like with your coach? You know, I see it all the time in NCAA gymnastics. I know it's important because it obviously calms them down, like you were talking about, especially with your heart rate going nuts right before the beam. What's that conversation like? How does that calm you down?
Yes. So, again, these coaches spend so much time with their athletes, so they know their athletes really well. And I was that athlete that my coach just needed to be like, you're good. You got this. You do this every day in the gym. Take a deep breath, relax. And as my college coach, Jenny Rowland, used to say, it's just gymnastics.
Sure. Really controlled double wolf turn there. It was slow and steady. Love that control, that step down with complete control, no extra movements. And I just keep jinxing.
Well, she fought for it. She's still up there. She's doing great. Front tuck.
That's a tough skill.
That is, and that was always a tough skill for me. I used to land on my toes.
Oh. So you're jumping off of wood.
True.
Now we've got Jazzy finishing her day on the floor. I think what's going to be great about watching these girls over the next few years is we get to watch them develop. And as we said, hopefully World Championships and Olympians in this room today.
It's always so fun to see athletes here at the beginning and then to be able to see where they go in the future. Because when you catch athletes at the end, it's great, they're great, but there's just something special about feeling like you've watched them and cheered them on since the beginning.
How does the music choice work?
I think every gym does it a little bit differently, but I think that's something that you also work with your coach on. You kind of know what type of athlete you have. Like what type of dance does she like to do? What's her strength, again? And so choosing a piece of music that can really amplify whatever the athlete's strengths are.
I like what you did there. Exemplify and amplify. You did a little bit of both there.
I was like, do I correct myself or do I just...
No. I think that you're totally right, though. It amplifies their gymnastics, but it also can help their personality shine through their routine.
Yes.
Don't worry, I've definitely made plenty of mistakes today myself. As you can imagine, not as well versed as I'd love to be in women's gymnastics, but unfortunately I just was a little bit focused on the men's career, on the men's side for a few years.
Yeah, just an Olympian.
Great save there.
I love watching them fight for everything.
Me too.
It's so important. It's just as important as doing it perfectly. Because it's more times than not, it's going to be a little bit off and you have to be able to adjust.
I really like watching just their focus. It's like unrelenting. It's just they are, or maybe I guess it's relentless. Maybe their focus is relentless is what I'm trying to say. They look like every moment matters so much. And it does, because again, like Alicia and Betty were saying, this is a re-ranking event. Everybody starts from ground zero here. Really well done.
Very nice.
So focused.
Incredibly focused, but also so incredibly calm. So many, pretty much all of these athletes.
Gosh, I don't think I developed that kind of... I just don't think that I ever developed that kind of competitive drive and focus until much later in my career. So it's true what they were saying, our high-performance team. These girls grow up quick.
They absolutely do.
Great vault there. And a really exciting vault here. Yurchenko 1.5, a college-level vault.
It was fair. Oh, they showed her full.
But I believe she did a
Okay.
second, which was interesting that she did the 1.5 second. Oh, actually, I know exactly why.
Yes.
Yeah. To count the score. Yeah. And her younger sister, of course.
Also very good. That was nice. I like her shape in the air.
You know what? I do really appreciate most of these young women doing 2 vaults already. It's a struggle on the men's side also. It's funny. We look at all the other events as a definite medal opportunity, and 2 vaults is kind of a much later afterthought, especially for the men's side. So to have the women already start doing 2 vaults early on in their career is important, and I think that it kind of sets the precedent of why aren't we looking at this as a medal opportunity as well? And it really does look like USA Gym is focusing on that.
Wow, she made that look easy.
Really
nice.
powerful tumbler.
She's been impressing me all day. That was a very nice routine to close out her day.
That's kind of what you were talking about ending on floor, and that looked like she really enjoyed ending on floor.
She made it look a little bit too easy.
Here's Kylie Smith. You know, I can imagine that bars is one of those events that's a little bit tougher to end on because you've got so many variables. You know, you've got your release moves, and, you know, obviously first things first, you got to put them on. I hope I don't jinx her. Nope. Veteran status. And that veteran status really comes from all those international events that she's already been able to take part of as a junior national team member. So no doubt that although today is a re-ranking event, she knows exactly where she stacks up like that with a full
twisting double layout.
Landed chest up too, by the way.
Like, are we kidding? So good.
And just a calm little high five. Yep, I do that every day. And now we've got Sage Stiggers coming up next for the balance beam.
That switch leap mount is something that you can build on there. You see how she just did a switch half? She can connect that switch leap mount to the switch half.
Right. Man, that's a boom, boom,
So
boom.
ways to keep progressing with this difficulty here.
That doesn't even give you really a second to breathe.
No.
You just start right away.
Get on the beam and get going. Okay, stays with it.
And I'm seeing that bent leg there a little bit. Is that obviously, that's something that she's got to work on at home?
Yes, so all of those details are obviously deductions. But yes, those are things that you work on at home.
Looks like there was some breaking of the connection there.
Yes, so she won't get, that'll get devalued. One thing that I always used to focus on beam is you don't want to make, even if you have a little bit of a mistake or you're a little bit off, you have to make tiny corrections.
Sure.
Right? Because big corrections will throw you off the other side. So that's like something that's super important that a lot of these athletes will be practicing in the gym too. It's small adjustments.
Oh.
And that was a huge double back.
It looked like she just only took one step into that, too.
I think she just didn't quite maybe know where she was.
Sure.
Which happens, because that was sky high.
Now Ansley McCauley finishing up her efforts on the floor today. Oh, just a little bit low there. Talked about low landings. Trinity, you're grabbing your ankles.
Because I'm old.
You could feel that one?
Yeah, I can feel that one. Oh, poor thing. She didn't have the momentum out of her 1.5 step out.
You can imagine that something had to do with maybe also the legs being exhausted after that first landing and then going into that. Oh, unfortunately, I think she's... I hope she's all right.
See, floor can also be a difficult event to end on if you're tired, obviously.
Sure. You know, unfortunately there, it's kind of biting off a little bit more than you can chew, maybe.
Yeah, it's really hard when you fall on your first pass as well. It's really hard to get back on track after that. That is an unfortunate ending to her night, but
sure.
She's going to go back in the gym and she's going to work on it, and it's going to be better next time, so...
But the effort was there, right? And obviously putting together that routine, the coach knows that she's probably hit it in the gym and just wanted to see what we can try here in this meet. See, here's that wolf turn getting started right at the beginning of the set. Nicely done. I like that lift that she had there. Wow.
I don't know. That was probably supposed to be connected.
Sure, but she kind of did what you were talking about. She minimized that error.
Yep.
She stopped, found herself, and then continued on with her routine. That was really impressive.
Yeah.
Something that I don't think you really start to do until you're much older. You know, minimizing those errors. And of course, there's one there, but you don't really understand what it's like to make a big error or a small error until later in your career.
It definitely takes a lot of practice.
Really great technique, though, in that double full. I can always appreciate head in, arms in the right position, legs and toes squeezed tight. That looked really well done. Going on to our next athlete here on the uneven bonus.
I love the Stalders and the endos. And
sure. Kind of helps doing all those combos.
Absolutely, it does.
Really well done bail there.
Wow. Very impressive.
Sydney Williams. That was a great way to end that meet on one of her best events, it looks like. Do women gymnasts ever kind of recycle routines or music from other gymnasts in the past?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and you're kind of a legend for using somebody else's routine. How does that work? You know, that's pardon me for having absolutely no idea how that would ever work, but, you know, we don't have anything on the men's side that we would ever use somebody else's.
I mean, most times it's not super close together that they're using these floor musics. Because most people want like their own piece of music, right? Their own routine, something special to them. But sometimes you hear something and you just love it. And if somebody else had it, oh so well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So here, and it looks like from the chat from TLR BRT, this is Suni's floor music, and maybe that's where it kind of clicked, and I kind of reminded myself, hey, I've heard this before.
That was a beautiful routine as well.
And looks like we'll be going on to our last competitive athlete for the day, Lily Tickner on the balance beam. How does it feel to be the last athlete of the session? Everybody's watching. You kind of know that, right?
It's fun to close out the meet.
Sure.
When I was this age, I probably didn't think it was fun, but as I got older, it was fun.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Trinity, it kind of sounds like when you were closing out the meet, you had a 60% chance of getting a 10, so it's always fun to close out in the best way possible.
I mean, competing in front of thousands of fans is so fun. That was a very nice front tuck. Obviously, she took a few steps out of that, but the height on it was gorgeous.
You know it, Brandon. We got chat. Come on. Trinity's talking about competing in front of thousands. That's what we're doing here. 2,000 viewers. We look forward to having you all on the senior women as well. Trinity and I will be back for that. Just finishing up here now for Lily. And
very
a stuck
nice
dust dismount to finish off the junior women.
This was a fun meet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was.
I love the grit and determination.
So Trinity, great competition to start. Like you said, we've got an immense amount of talent and really looking forward to just seeing who was able to take home the competition. We'll be right back with your leaderboard.
Come see gymnastics' biggest stars at the 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships at the Mortgage Matchup Center in Phoenix. Cheer on Olympic medalists and the next generation of USA gymnastics stars as they rise to the challenge and vie for national titles. Tickets on sale now. Visit XfinityChampionships.com for more information. Don't miss any of the action at the 2026 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships.
Earth, from the horizontal comforts of your couch, is merely dirt and sticks and moss and bugs and stuff. But when you're double-back living off a backcountry cliff, or hallucinating on 1 million micrograms of exhaustion, you might just see Earth as a world of endless attractions. Welcome to the... Hello? Excuse me, I was still talking. Anyway, welcome to the world of... All conditions gear!
Sonia and Gerald trust Prevagen for their brains, and this is their story.
I'm Sonia.
And I'm Gerald, and we live in Jacksonville, Florida.
We are both military veterans, and we provide dental care for underserved communities. We have a very busy life.
We take Prevagen for our brains.
I would honestly say I like the way that Prevagen makes me feel. At the end of the day, I feel confident and amazing.
Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years.
Helium Melanin showing beautiful control.
She's clearly a crowd favorite. The most reliable Wi-Fi at one price for 5 years. Guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that.
To succeed in gymnastics, it takes strength, determination, dedication, and it takes you. The USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to empower athletes at all levels and disciplines of our sport and to enrich communities for all-around success. Give to the USA Gymnastics Foundation today because their success starts with you.
Well, Trinity, what a fantastic competition early this morning, early this afternoon. Let's go through some of the leaderboards. Winning with a tie on vault, 13.475, Amaya Pubanks and Adelie Van Grinsven. That 1.5 obviously helped.
Those were two spectacular vaults, honestly. I was very impressed by them.
Moving on to the bars, we have in third place, Aluya Daniels with a 12.8, Sydney Williams with a 13.05, and in first place, Kylie Smith with that big 13.6.
It was a beautiful bar routine.
On the beam, a third place, SB Chang with a 12.9, in second place, Sophie Daftian with a 12.95, and the 11-year-old Audrey Van Grinsven with a 13.45. She is showing why she should be here.
So impressive, and she should be so proud.
And then on the floor, we have a two-way tie for second with Adelie Van Grinsven with a 12.8, SB Chang with a 12.8, and in first place, that veteran with international experience, Kylie Smith with a 12.95. Moving on to the all-around. We've got in third place, Adelie Van Grinsven with a 50.5. In second place, Amaya Pubanks with a 50.95. And in first place, without a doubt, Kylie Smith, the veteran, with a 52.7. Trinity, what a fantastic competition today. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for these young ladies and their future in the sport, but also I'm excited for the national team to be re-ranked and also the prospect of medals in this international competition season that's coming up. What are your thoughts?
Yes, my thoughts are this is just the beginning.
Sure.
And they get to go home and work on all the things that they learned that they need to from out here, competition experience. And some of them get to go home on the U.S. national team, which is one of the highest honors. And they'll get to go and compete internationally and get some experience out there, and they're just going to keep learning and keep growing. This is a young group of fantastic gymnasts, and I can't wait to see where they go.
Sure. Really excited to watch also the senior women coming up at 5 o'clock tonight. Super excited. There's a ton of excitement. There's a lot of stories going on there, and you and I will be here to call it again, and just really can't wait for the future of U.S. women's gymnastics over the next 2 years on their road to LA 2028.
Yep, and we'll see them again soon for the senior competition.
To succeed in gymnastics, it takes strength, determination, dedication, and it takes you. The USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to empower athletes at all levels and disciplines of our sport and to enrich communities for all-around success. Give to the USA Gymnastics Foundation today, because their success starts.
At this time, we present the Individual Event Awards of the 2026 Winter Cup Junior Women's Competition. We begin today's ceremony with the presentation of awards on vault. In 8th place, from Palmer's Gymnastics, Carla Frank. In 7th place, from Georgia All-Star Gymnastics, Ansley McCauley. Tied for 5th place, from Flips Gymnastics, Lily Ticknor. And from Carter's Gymnastics Academy, Jasha McClendon. In 4th place, from Wolga, Sage Stigers. In 3rd place, winning the bronze medal, from Cincinnati Gymnastics, Kylie Smith. And tied for 1st place and earning gold medals, your 2026 Winter Cup Junior Women's Vault Champions. For Pacific Reign, Adelie Van Grinsven. And for World Class Gymnastics, Amia Pewbanks. There they are, your 2026 Winter Cup Vault medalists. We continue the award ceremony with the presentation of awards for uneven bars. We have a three-way tie for 8th place. From Flips Gymnastics, Lily Ticknor. From Pacific Range Gymnastics, Cassie Tan. And from Cincinnati Gymnastics, Ansley Stevens. In 7th place, from World Class Gymnastics, Amia Pubanks. Tied for 5th place. For First State Gymnastics, Amaria Moore. Also from First State Gymnastics, Avery Haynes. In 4th place, from Pacific Range Gymnastics, Adelie Van Grinsven. In 3rd place, winning the bronze medal, from Great American Gymnastics Express, Alia Daniels. In 2nd place, winning the silver medal, from Metroplex, Sydney Williams. And in 1st place, the 2026 Winter Cup Junior Women's Bars Champion, winning the gold medal, from Cincinnati Gymnastics, Kylie Smith. Here they are, your 2026 Winter Cup Junior Women's Uneven Bars medalists. And now for the award ceremony for balance beam. In 8th place, from First State Gymnastics, Avery Haynes. In 7th place, from Cincinnati Gymnastics, Ansley Stevens. In 6th place, from Woga, Brooklyn Klauser. In 5th place, from Metroplex, Sydney Williams. In 4th place, for Cincinnati, Kylie Smith. In 3rd place, winning the bronze medal, from Pacific Range Gymnastics, S.P. Chang. In 2nd place, winning the silver medal, from Woga, Sophie Daptian. In 1st place, the 2026 Winter Cup Women's Junior Beam Champion, winning the gold medal, from Pacific Range Gymnastics, Audrey Van Grinsven. There they are, your 2026 Winter Cup Balance Beam medalists. And now for the award ceremony for floor exercise. In 8th place from Palmer's Gymnastics, Carla Franck. Tied for 6th place from Boga, Madeline Eagle. And from Advantage Academy, Sadie Drake. In 5th place for Gage Gymnastics, Alia Daniels. In 4th place from World Class Gymnastics, Amia Pewbanks. Tied for 2nd place and earning silver medals from Pacific Rain, Adelie Van Grinsven. Also from Pacific Rain, S.P. Chang. In 1st place, the 2026 Winter Cup Junior Women's Floor Champion, earning the gold medal for Cincinnati Gymnastics, Kylie Smith. Here they are, your 2026 Winter Cup floor medalists. And now we continue the ceremony with the presentation of awards in the all-around competition. Finishing in 8th place from Pacific Rain Gymnastics, Audrey Van Grinsven. In 7th place from Great American Gymnastics Express, Alia Daniels. In 6th place from First State Gymnastics, Avery Haynes. In 5th place from Pacific Rain Gymnastics, S.P. Chang. In 4th place from Metroplex Gymnastics, Sydney Williams. In 3rd place, earning the bronze medal from Pacific Rain Gymnastics, Adelie Van Grinsven. In 2nd place, winning the silver medal from World Class Gymnastics, Amia Pewbanks. In 1st place, the 2026 Winter Cup Junior Women's All-Around Champion, winning the gold medal from Cincinnati Gymnastics, Kylie Smith. There they are, your 2026 Winter Cup All-Around medalists. Gymnastics fans, we are just moments away from the first announcement of your 2026 U.S. Junior Women's National Team. Please stick around for that announcement. And now, please join us in welcoming your 2026 USA Junior Women's National Team. These national team members will represent the USA this year in national and international competition. Your 2026 Junior National Team members are Kylie Smith, Amia Pugh-Banks, Adelaide Van Grinsven, Sydney Williams, S.P. Chang, Avery Haynes, Alia Daniels, Audrey Van Grinsven, Amaria Moore, and Cassie Tan. One more time, let's hear it for your 2026 Junior National Team. And now, introducing the athletes who will be representing Team USA on the world stage at this year's upcoming global competition. Please step forward as your name is announced. Representing Team USA at International Gymnastics in Montreal, Canada, S.P. Chang, Amia Pugh-Banks, Alia Daniels, and Amaria Moore. And now, representing Team USA at the Jesolo Trophy in Jesolo, Italy, Kylie Smith, Amia Pugh-Banks, Adelaide Van Grinsven, Sydney Williams, Audrey Van Grinsven, and Avery Haynes. One more time, let's hear it for these incredible athletes that will represent USA Gymnastics in international competition. Many thanks to all of the athletes who competed here at the 2026 Winter Cup in Louisville, Kentucky, USA, and congratulations to the medalists. Gymnastics fans, many thanks to you for joining us and bringing the roar to the Kentucky International Convention Center today. We hope you can join us again this evening for the Winter Cup Senior Women's Competition. Thank you for your support of USA Gymnastics athletes.